I've been thinking about what to do for today's video, and I actually thought this might actually work, doing a quick overview of how I actually do my whole project in Premiere Rush. So go to the app, open it. Right now, this is already set up for today's video, but normally it opens up right here. So this, just pretend these two aren't here. You hit the bottom to create a new project, and then just for the sake of going through the motions, we'll just go add media, camera roll, and then this is where you actually do today's date or whatever your project wants to be called. Best tip I can give you that I sometimes never follow is label the things that you're doing. If you're doing a 365 project, literally name every day the project name. So if it's for photos, do January 1st of X year, and then January 2nd all the way down to January 1st of the following year, just because it makes things so much easier. Especially your phone timestamps it, but sometimes when you edit the actual thing you're working on, it comes off kind of weird, and it just gives it today's date and then the actual date, which is what I'm running across when I'm trying to transfer my 365 photo project I did last year to my actual computer and stuff. So that's a different tangent, but yeah. So project name, enter, and then you select whatever clips you want. Like I said, this is already done, so I'm just going to go back and click on day 21. All the photos and everything will line up here. So once you select your photos, they will all pop up here in order that you selected them. For whatever reason, if that's not the one you want, you just click and then you hold, and then you can move it wherever you want it to be. This right here, I had this really cool thing where I was going to do car wash and I totally didn't mention it. So all that is just trash. And then here, it will just play the whole movie in its entirety. Time lapse, this one right here, that's why there's no sound. And then again, it's just in chronological order of how I did everything. So start from the front. First thing I do is the initial cut where it's watch everything. And then while I'm watching, if there's multiple takes where I'm just scatterbrained or things just aren't making sense or things don't actually just flow with the video, I just come down here, you click on where you want it to be, use the scissor tool, and then you click or you snip, and then you hit the little delete button right there. But we don't have to worry about that. So just go through it all once. This is just a speed up version, but you go through it all at once, and then you come back and then you watch it again with the cuts and edits you've made to it. The second round is where I watch the video in its entirety. I don't mess with it if I don't have to, unless there's something like random that I just totally forgot to cut out, or just really something doesn't make sense the second time around, I will cut it. But for this part, you just want to make sure and you edit the flow and it makes sure it works. And then after this is done, I'm about 50 to 75%, depending on what else I'm going to do. So, but here's my favorite part. Come to the bottom, open up the internet, and I actually have Epidemic Sound opened up, but this is where I get all of my music for my YouTube, Instagram, and stuff like that. I'm not getting paid or this isn't an ad, but I love their work. It's just so good. They have genres for everything. They revamped their website recently, so it's even easier to find things you want. But what I love about them is the more you download and the more you use their app, it will find music that's catered to the music style you already have. So it's just recommended for my YouTube because it sees what ones I've posted and I've used. Same thing with the ones that I've downloaded that I actually haven't used. And if that's still not too much what you want, they're into categories and then staff picks, which the staff picks is actually really good. I can't show you the Amazon things in a minute, but it's just, here's my favorite part, is just trying to figure out what music I want for the actual video I'm doing. And then here, if you don't like what you're listening to, they do have an option for a refresh. What I also love about this is their little three buttons on the right, you can add to playlists. So it's just, you can have multiple playlists set up. Right now, I'm just using 4 YouTube videos and then ones that I possibly might use in the future. So it's just, again, these little attention to detail is just so good. And here, since I'm picking this Mayweather song, you click the little buttons on the right, go to download, download mix, and then go to download, then we sit and wait. It actually doesn't take too long. From here, click the bottom left, and then Adobe Creative Cloud. And I already have a folder selected as music, or a folder labeled as music. Click. You have to make sure this is open. If this is closed, it just messes up and it doesn't save. Okay, from here, scroll all the way over. On the bottom left, there's a little plus. You can go to media. And then here's where I told you that they have other music. You can add your own music to it if you wanted to use your iTunes. stuff or a home project or a home video, stuff like that, you can do it there. But from here, close this out real quick. Click the three things again, click on audio, and then they do have soundtracks of their own. The archive isn't that big, but I think they are adding stuff at a regular pace. From here, click on that, click on media, Creative Cloud, music. What was it called again? I don't remember. Oh yeah, Mayweather. Okay, scroll down, go all the way to here, find Mayweather, add. Super easy. So you just make sure you have the music selected, figure out where you want it to start. Let's scroll all the way across. And then from here, I usually do it a few seconds into the actual clip of where I'm talking or the next scene. Hit that. You can delete this, but if you just move it aside real quick, sometimes you need it later. But when you go back to the audio, hit the audio button, auto volume, the auto ducking. The auto ducking is where it's slowly comes into the music and then slowly creeps out of the music. I have it at the default 87. I feel like that does a pretty good job. So he's just like, okay, hit play. Prepping, painting, and we'll see how far we get today. And then from here, I was like, I kind of don't like this. So it's just, okay, go back, hit the trash can, come back over here. And then start this all over again. And then you just find the exact clip that you want for it. Okay, so that's looking good. Scroll all the way to the end. Like I said, a few seconds in, clip it. And then there is another scene right here where I have the time lapse. Come on. Or I have the time lapse. And then do the same thing here again. So a few seconds before the actual scene. And then me doing it. And make sure you have the bottom thing clipped and then delete it. And then the third and final thing is the actual color grading and stuff like that if you want. Hit the little color grading thing. They do have built-in LUTs. Don't use them because they're not really ones I want to use, I guess. But you know, they're there. They're pretty good. The ones I do recommend for most people is the SL Gold, the Kodak, and that's maybe the film, but you have to kind of dial it back with that. But let's just say we're going to use the Kodak. They have the intensity right here. This is just shows you how strong the overall thing is. It's okay where it's at for the most part, but you can change the exposure. That's just how light and dark it is. Contrast, same thing, how sharp and dark. Highlight, I feel like that doesn't go against with all types of color grading. It's just light and dark, just to how you prefer it. Here, same thing. Color temperature, it's just like, if you want things really yellow or blue, trying to create a tone and stuff like that, that's pretty cool. I don't really mess with it that much if I don't have to, just because a lot of scenes I have me and Jessica in it, or the girls, and it's just Jessica and me have a striking skin color, and it's really difficult to color correct with both of us in it because it's either I'm very Oompa Loompa-ish or Jessica is very Oompa Loompa-ish just because based on our skin tones, trying to get everything exact. So for the most part, I leave it alone. Phones and cameras right now do a very good job in doing it. Saturation, you can make things super colorful or not, black and white. It's, again, it just depends on how you feel. So with all that, I actually don't want that. That looks like shit. But go right here, go to reset. What I do wish they did have was an option right here that if you click it, you can put an adjustment layer and then put a preset over the top of it. Because for the way I do it, I don't like to color grade first because that takes too much time. I like to do it last. But if you just do the adjustment layer up top and then throw the color grade on top of it, it's just great. But while clicking the little buttons on the bottom, if you want to create your own preset without using any of these top things, you can make it however you want. You can save it as a preset, and at the very bottom, you can just add your preset to it, and it can color correct the whole thing or everything that's selected. So again, that's pretty cool. They do have a lot of options in it, but it's just they need a little bit more options. And then from here, it's good to go, ready to export. This part is kind of finicky because I shoot right now in the 4K, the HDR 10-bit or 8-bit, whatever this iPhone can do. And when I have it as 4K export, it says my phone doesn't have enough storage in it. But my phone right now has about 40 to 50 gigs free. So it's just the only way to fix it that I've seen online is by switching it to 1080 and then downloading it or exporting it, and then it's good to go. But when you export it, it's great because it shows you ways on how you can upload it to TikTok, to Instagram, to Facebook, just different options like that. Again, it just saves an extra step, which is it's just nice to have in general. And then when it exports, it does save to your camera roll, and then we'll just go through the quick motions of how I would do it. So click up here, hit the little plus, click the upload video, select the one that we just edited, and then go through the motions of just naming it, putting it in the right category, and then you're good to go. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown of how I do everything. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and if you can find, if there is a way to like actually add an adjustment layer and then do other presets, let me know, because that would really I would really appreciate that if you had that, if you knew this. So with that, I will talk to you next week. I'm out.